It is in these most monumental occasions, my children, that the darkness within turns into a bright light again. And you will remember your love for God when the revelation occurs within that darkness that God so dearly and compassionately loves you. My children, God wishes to see you flourish in each beautiful revelation. God wishes, and God can do miracles. Contemplate deeply upon the profundity and tangible depth that a miracle worker makes wishes towards your beautiful unfolding in this shared love, this shared revelation. For indeed it is for each of you, God's wish for your genuine happiness. My children, that happiness is best achieved through this revelation of God's love for you. Even before you knew how to love for yourself, God was already here watching your first steps, hearing your first thoughts, showing you your imagination's capabilities before you even knew it was imagination. My children, it is your parents' love that God found its way into these early connections. These are real conduits of energetic movement essential for your spirit, just like oxygen is to your body. They are blessings, and God provides them for you as godly possible. My children, take a walk in this garden you're within. And do not only walk it with your body, but walk it with your mind and your spirit as well. Your body will gain strength by walking. Your mind will gain strength by observing mindfully, and your spirit will gain strength by appreciating the moment. And your strength of faith will blossom into a new form of knowing. Just as a sunflower seed turns into a sprout, and just as that sprout turns into a stem, and just as that stem produces its leaves, and just as those leaves grow and multiply with the growing stem, and just as that growth begins to concentrate on the sunflower head, and just as that head opens into whatever color it is blessed to appear, and just as that blossoming flower stands beautiful and majestic, my children, the sunflower is you. You were a seed growing through your growth, and now you are standing beautiful and majestic. My children, do not forget this beautiful unfolding is transpiring at all layers of you. And do not forget, God has been there at all layers, witnessing and loving every first your spirit reveals within itself while unfolding. My children, this means to never fear this unfolding. Embrace it fully with God's love in mind. This is achieved in a process that requires faith. It requires contemplation. And it is when contemplating turns into praying that the revelation occurs that God desires to communicate with your growth. Like a parent joyfully watching their baby's first moment of smiling, God greets you with this same smiling nature, and you will not only see it, but you will feel and truly begin to know it. My children, when you know this, then your spiritual birth begins its unfolding process. Again, my children, please do not fear, for this love has many lessons and many changing appearances. And know these lessons and changing appearances are vital for this new spiritual unfolding and growth. Again, the sunflower provides one of these vital lessons of changing appearances. It is true that sunflower seed grew into a mighty beautiful budding flower, but this is only temporary. My children, it is common for a beginning gardener to feel disheartened during the next phases of this seed's growth. For in the late summer, that beautiful color slowly wilts to a dry brown, and eventually falls to the ground. But I remind you, not to fear, not to feel disheartened. For a seasoned and veteran gardener knows that one seed is now in the inward process of making hundreds of more seeds of its like nature and appearance. This process may not physically appear as beautiful as the flower growing process, however, something very beautiful is transpiring within. And my children, though the growing sunflower now droops to half its original height, and covers its head with all those leaves that provided it enough shade to grow strong and free. Understand this inward process is vital, and you too will and must go through it. My children, though you are standing beautiful in this moment, know with this spirit and awareness you must take your thoughts inward, and the result should be like the shedding of old skin, and that feeling of anew spiritually. My children, this means God is what you find when standing beautifully and what you see when turned inwardly. And just as that one seed grew and transformed, it ultimately ended the season as hundreds of seeds. And my children, that is your spiritual birth beginning to grow and transform into its next season. Just as the veteran gardener plants those hundreds of seeds from just one last season in this next upcoming spring. My children, you are witnessing God's profound love for your existence and spiritual longevity. The change of season with spirit is not bound to time and the physical nature process, for the spirit seed can grow and spread immediately upon its initial planting. My children, with God's love, and through your love for God's love, you are in an eternal season of growth. No matter how ancient your seed might appear with time, know God will still be loving all your firsts of understanding, for we are always God's children spiritually, and simply by loving this love for you from a miracle worker, you will grow in that loving season of eternity, where there is no winter, and there is no disease, and there is no rot. There is simply an abundance of commingling growth of God's love unfolding through an eternity of revelations upon this profound love. My children, God so loves the world and every bit of growth provided, and God so loves your spirit, so much so that our very awareness provides us this confirmation of God's love. My children, God would rather you love Him than worship Him. Instead, appreciate all God provides, for that is real worship. Praise for the beautiful awareness that this season of eternal spiritual growth provides. My children, though the sunflower seems to have its end at the coming of winter, the gardener holds proof in their hands that one seed only spread its loving growth, just as God provides for all of you spiritually, mentally, and physically. Just know that there is enough love, beauty, and peace for all, because all are a piece of beauty and love. God bless.